Hi guys, my name's Alex Cost. I'm friends with Jessica, and she asked me to share my story about getting preeclampsia, the HELP syndrome, um, in my pregnancy. So my pregnancy started off pretty normal. I was sick, I was nauseous the first trimester of my pregnancy, and then after the nausea went away and everything, um, it was totally normal. I went to my checkups. They tested my blood pressure and everything, and they said that everything was normal and nothing was wrong, and baby was growing just fine and everything was fine. And so I thought, cool. And so I kept going to my checkups and everything, and then around at 29 weeks, I was visiting family in Soda Springs. I woke up on the 19th, no, 17th. I woke up on the 17th and I had severe pain in my chest. Um, and I didn't know what it was, but I had had it before, and I talked to my OB about it, and he said that it could have been anxiety, it could be a heart problem, and so I was admitted to the ER before this for that problem, but they did a bunch of tests and they didn't find anything. They said that everything was fine. So then they copped it up to anxiety, basically. So I was like, okay. So they gave me stress management for anxiety and stuff and stress. And it helped, but this pain didn't go away on the 17th. It didn't go away, and it only got worse throughout the day. Um, and it got so bad that it moved down into my stomach, and it started getting really, really bad, like to the point where I was walking around my dad's house with ice packs on my stomach and on my back because it hurts so bad. Um, and it got to about, I tried to tough it out because I thought maybe it was gas pains. I called my sister. I was like, I'm experiencing this pain. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I mean, it could be gas pain from everything that I've eaten. And she's like, well, I experienced gas pain when I was pregnant. And it was pretty painful, so it could be gas pain. And I was like, okay, well, I chalked it up to gas pain. I had um, my sister go get me Gas X from the store. I tried to take Gas X. I ended up throwing it up. It didn't stay down, so it didn't do anything. And then from that point, I was just in so much pain that around 9 or 10 o'clock at night, I had my dad take me to the ER. And I finally got into the ER, and they hooked me up to everything. And um, I don't remember if they made me pee or not. I don't think so. I think they just took my blood pressure, and it was really, really high. And so they were calling all the doctors and everything. And the doctor told them that I had developed preeclampsia. And they said she needs to go to um, the closest hospital that will take her because Soda Springs is not equipped for that kind of thing. So the closest hospital was Portneuf Medical Center in Pocatello. Now, I live in Logan, Utah, so I have insurance through Utah, not Idaho. But anyways, they took me there because otherwise I would have had to go to Salt Lake, and Salt Lake was a lot further. So they took me to Portneuf by emergency vehicle. They loaded me up. Before they loaded me up, they gave me a steroid shot to help develop baby's lungs. And then they put me on magnesium. And magnesium is makes it so my blood pressure doesn't go up or whatever, and it keeps the symptoms at bay, I guess. Um, I went in with all the symptoms. I had severe swelling. Um, I had pain in my stomach and my right abdomen, nausea, vision, vision problems, like all of it. I had all the symptoms. Um, Actually, let me go through them: nausea, headache, upper right side pain, visual disturbances, swelling, high blood pressure, and then later they found protein in my urine. So once I actually got to Portneuf. So I get to the Portneuf Medical Center, and the doctor's in there. And he's like, okay, Alex, you have not only developed preeclampsia, but you've developed the HELP syndrome. And it's the most severe form of preeclampsia. And I was like, okay. And so he's like, so what's going to happen is we're going to give you steroid shots for 48 hours. Every day leading up to 48 hours, we're going to give you a steroid shot to develop the baby's lungs, and then we're going to put you into labor so you can have the baby. Now, at this point, I'm just shocked. I'm just like, I'm only 29 weeks. This baby is not done cooking. You mean that I'm having my baby before I leave this hospital? And he's like, yes, you are having your baby before you leave this hospital. And I was like, I was just really in shock. I didn't even know what to say. Like, obviously, I was on a lot of medication, so I wasn't in super pain anymore. But I was shocked. I was like, okay. Because my due date wasn't until August. So I was like, okay. And then they're like, and baby's going to have to be in the NICU. So at that point, I got really scared. I'm like, okay, what are the chances? What are survival rate, and problem rate? And they're like, at 29 weeks, he shouldn't have any problems. He should be in the NICU, and he should be fine. The most common thing is that they have trouble breathing. And I was like, okay, I can deal with that because you guys have oxygen and stuff. I was like, okay. And so this whole process went, and I was on, at that point, they were giving me, I was still on the magnesium, and the magnesium makes your vision blurry. It makes you, I don't know, it's weird. I didn't like it. It sucked. It made you really hot. It made you feel like you were having a heat stroke. And, you sweat a lot. And, they pump fluids into you and everything to keep you hydrated and stuff. But anyways, it wasn't fun. But anyways, I was on all that, and then they started giving me the steroid shots, and then they would monitor me. They would take my blood every like 4 to 6 hours or something. They came in and took my blood, so they poked me several times. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you. I think I was poked in this one arm, and hand and arm. I think I was poked in just this hand 25 times. So, yeah. And then in this one, I think it was 3 or 4 times. And then my hand, I don't know, a lot. My hand was poked a lot too. Because I guess that's the only way they could find my veins. But anyways, so they took my blood. They tested everything multiple times to make sure that I was staying where they wanted me to. And then they gave me the steroid shots. And then the last steroid shot they gave me, they told me that, okay, we're going to induce you. I was like, okay. And so they tried to induce me, and they said, okay, now we just want you to relax. So you can just take a nap, rest, because you're going to need to work up your energy in order to have this baby. And I was like, okay. Because I was really swollen. I was really tired. It was bad. When my mom came and saw me, my eyelids were so swollen that it looked like I had been stung by bees. And my face was so fat. And it was terrible. I could barely see. I'm pretty sure it was a mixture of crying and pain and the preeclampsia and the medicine they were giving me. It was all a lot on my body. So I was resting. And then the nurse comes in and they move the monitor thing, and they're like, well, we're trying to get the baby's heart rate and stuff. So we got to move it. We got to get your contraction monitor moved so we can test your contractions and stuff, because the way I was laying, it wasn't working, I guess. So they kept coming in and moving it and moving it. And then finally, this last time they came in with the doctor, the OB. And he's like, okay, so your contractions are making the baby's heart rate go down. So we have to do an emergency C-section. And I'm like, right now? He's like, right now. I was like, okay, do I have a choice? No, you don't have a choice. And I was like, okay, let me call my mom. She has to be here for this. This can't happen yet. And so I called my mom. She was shocked when I told her, and she finally got to the hospital, and I was rushed upstairs into surgery, and I was awake for the C-section. It was terrible. I was very nauseous, and the feeling of someone moving your body and pulling at your body when you can't feel pain, but you can feel it, it made me sick to my stomach. So they had to administer nausea medicine as they were doing this and stuff because I thought I was gonna puke, and I was super scared and it was super terrible. But it was finally over. Baby finally came out. I was all done up. They glued me apparently. I was all done up. Baby came out. Um, I didn't. After that, I was really sore and tired from like the or not the anesthesia, but the medicines they were pumping into me and stuff. And so after the surgery, I was tired, and so I kind of just slept. Um, but when it all wore off, I didn't really have any symptoms anymore. I didn't have pain in my stomach. I mean, I had the surgery pain, like the incision pain. Um, but even then, I didn't really have any pain because they had me on so many pain medicines that I just didn't feel anything. And so they're like, you can't walk. I had a catheter in. I had a catheter in for, let's see, 17, 18th, 19th, 20, 19th. I think it was the day of my surgery. So the 19th, I had my baby. I think they took the catheter out. So I had the catheter in for like 3 days. It was terrible. Because the magnesium makes it so you can't walk straight or you can't feel your legs, so you can't walk. So they didn't want me getting up, so they put a catheter in me. Um, but anyways, so finally I was able to feel again and everything. And they took the catheter out, and I was able to walk and go to the bathroom. Like the day after my surgery, I was up and trying to take care of myself because I'm that person. But anyways, I was up taking care of myself, going to the bathroom and everything. And then they took me to see him. And I saw him for the first time. They just like wheeled my bed upstairs into the NICU. It was actually really cool. I have a picture of it. I was huge. I was so huge. It's kind of unbelievable because I'm a very small person. But so I got to see my son, and they were kind of telling me about him, but I don't really remember because I was on a lot of pain medication and a lot of medication in general. So I was just like, he's beautiful. I love him. Take me back to my room. I need sleep. I need food. And from there, I just basically tried to heal myself. But I would go see him. I would go see him every day. And they told me that when he was born, he had to be, I can't think of what it's called. Basically, they had to breathe for him. So they had to stick a tube down his throat and breathe for him. But once he started breathing on his own, they were able to take it out. And he was able to breathe. And he hasn't been on one of those since that. He does have oxygen, so he is on oxygen. But he's on like 21% oxygen, which is like normal for anybody. And then he has a feeding tube because he was born 2 pounds, 1.5 ounces. So he's very small, very little. But he pulled out fast, and he was breathing like a champ and doing really good, and no problems with pregnancy, nothing with him as far as being born or anything that was concerning after he was born, and then now until today, which is the 3rd, and he was born on the 19th. He's progressing every day. He's doing better. His weight goes up and down, but that's also because of the stuff that he's introduced to, the feedings and stuff, and the probiotics and stuff that they introduce into his feedings every so often whenever they do it. And so that's really about it as far as that. He's doing amazing, and then I'm doing okay. But after that, I ended up on the 28th. I ended up getting severe pain in my abdomen again, and I thought maybe it was from the C-section, the incision. Something happened, because the day I got out of the hospital, which I got out of the hospital on the 25th, 24th or 25th, 24th, Saturday, or Sunday before Memorial Day, the day before Memorial Day. I got out of the hospital and I actually fell out of a Jeep. And I ended up ripping open my incision, so I had to go back and have them tape it up and put like a waterproof bandage or something on it. But on the 28th, I ended up getting severe abdominal pain, so I thought maybe it was something from a C-section. And I called my doctor, I called the nurses, and I told them what I was experiencing and that I had just had a C-section and everything, and they're like, okay, come into the emergency room so we can look at you. I was staying at a friend's house, and I didn't want them to have to drive me to a hospital, uh, and not, like, them not let them in or whatever, and or it not be serious, whatever the case. I ended up driving myself to the hospital. I drove myself to the ER and admitted myself, and I was in a lot of pain, severe pain. They finally got me back, asked me a bunch of questions, doctor finally gave okay to start medicine and everything, pain meds. So they started giving me pain meds and everything. I felt a little bit better. Pain was still there, but it wasn't as strong. Medicine only lasted like 30 minutes tops, and then my pain came back like with a vengeance. And I was like hurled over on my stomach, like bawling, like, please, someone help me or kill me. I don't know which, but something. And the doctor finally comes in and he's like, okay, we're going to take you to get a CAT scan so we can see what's going on. And I was like, please, as fast as possible. Like, it hurts. And so they finally take me and they give me a CAT scan. They give me this medicine that makes it feel like you pee your pants and it makes you really hot. And it's basically to light up your inside so that they can see everything. And so they do that, and then they take me back to the room. And I'm in there for like, I don't know, 20 minutes by myself, just hurled over in pain, until they can give me more pain medicine. And then one of the nurses come in, or I don't know if it's a nurse or a doctor, I can't remember. Someone comes in and they're like, so we have bad news. And I was like, okay, here we go. What now? They're like, you have appendicitis, and you have to have an appendectomy and get your appendix taken out. And I'm like, wait, are you serious? Yeah, we're serious, Alex, like right now. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, okay, let's do it then, because I'm in a lot of pain and this sucks. And they were so worried about that it had burst because of how much pain I was in. They thought that maybe it had burst. And so the nurse that was taking care of me was like super amazing. And she felt so bad. And she's like, I'm going to run upstairs as fast as I can and get you in here before shift change, or else you're going to be in here for 4 more hours. And I was like, oh no, I'm not being in there 4 hours. No, 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 no. She's like, no, I don't want that to happen. We need to get you up there as fast as possible. So she went up there, she got it all set up and everything, and they took me up. At first, they took me into the room because they thought if it burst, I would have to stay in the hospital. And then they finally took me to surgery, and the doctor talked to me and told me everything that was happening and asked me a bunch of questions. And I was like, hey, let's do this. Like, I'm ready. Let's go. I've already had one surgery. Let's do it. You're knocking me out this time. I'm okay with that. And so I went in, knocked me out. They did the surgery. I woke up. No idea where I was. Didn't have my glasses. Couldn't see anything. So I was like, they asked me my birthday, and I was like, I don't know. I don't remember. And then the doctor brought me my glasses, and then it was just like everything was clear again. I was like, okay. I saw the doctor and I saw the nurses and everything. I was like, okay, you asked me a question. What was it? And she's like, what's your birthday? So I told her my birthday and everything, and she's like, okay, I'm glad you're okay. But yeah, after that, basically I'm just healing from the incisions that left now. So now I have a lower incision for my C-section, a little incision above my C-section, an incision in my belly button, and an incision on the left side of my lower abdomen. And let me tell you what, once everything wore off, it hurts. Bad. Very, very bad. And the anesthesia makes your neck hurt, your head hurt, your shoulders hurt, like just a lot of pain. So all the pain medicine that they were giving me in the hospital made it so the pain medicine that they gave me when I got out of the hospital didn't work. So I was in a lot of pain. I didn't have any more symptoms after everything, after the surgery and everything. I didn't have any more stomach pain as far as the pain I was feeling inside. But like the pain from the surgery, obviously, is very well known, makes itself very known. I think that was it. Baby didn't have any symptoms. Um, he did have magnesium, like in him that they were slowly trying to get out that made him tired. But as far as that, he wasn't born with any defects, any symptoms of anything. He was a healthy baby boy. He was just a little bit too small, and so he's growing. And then other than that, I haven't had any symptoms of anything else. But I also have, prior to this, I have endometriosis, and so that can come back with a vengeance. So we're trying to get on top of that before that comes back and get birth control started again. So hopefully this is it, and I am done with surgery, and I'm done with pain. Wish me luck, because I don't know if that's the case, but I'm really hoping it is. But anyways, yeah, that is my story. Thanks for listening. All right, bye.